something wrong with Levi, and it looks like he's downstairs.
Judith?
Making your own pumpkin spice is just too hard. How are you supposed to get any of that pumpkin goodness out of those gourds? Can't.
Hello and welcome to the Evo Sports Game Recap Show Turbo segment, part 1 of a one-part special, powered and presented by PNS. I'm your host, Royce Rollsworth. The big story of the day is the conclusion of the Evolution Cup. Today's championship series featured the veteran Saints and the up-and-coming Young Bucks. The veteran Saints were looking for their first championship after a humiliating defeat last year. A big storyline leading into the series was whether or not star switch-hitting first baseman / outfielder Mantar Bhandal would be able to play.
One of your star players, Manny, actually hurt his shoulder. Any thoughts on that? How he's going to be playing today?
Yeah, I think Coach said that he's playing. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, the doctors didn't want me to play. They told me, my shoulders, I got a tear in it, but it was the last game of the season, it's a championship game, and I'm not going to not play because my shoulder's gone. It is my throwing shoulder, but, it's one of those things where you just got to put it all on the line and go out there and play a hard game, and it's all about, getting bats and balls and getting the ball in the outfield, and, we're going to win this game.
Are you at all worried about the competition?
Very worried. They got some big hitters out there. I know their leadoff man, whoever that's going to be, is going to be a tough one to nail down, or whoever decides to play that role. I'm getting some texts right now. Sorry.
So we're going to play a dirty game. We're going to Steve Chong a couple of the first years. We're going to hit the ball harder than they do, catch the ball faster than they do. Yeah, it's going to be a good game.
Do you have any leading rituals you do before going into the game? Like, what do you do to prepare for your maximum success?
I like to drink a lot of energy drinks, drink 3 probably before the game, and then just stare at the floor and stare at the floor and just think about what's gonna happen on that field. I try to visual what's happening, the ball getting hit in the air and stuff. Once you have 3 energy drinks and you I don't know if you've had that before, but you get going.
Are you above pushing them down?
No, I've encouraged all my players to push them down.
If they're already on the ground, are you going to encourage stomping?
Yes.
Even with metal cleats?
Yeah, it's a team effort.
Are you ready to sport your sportiest?
Oh, yes. I'm sporting my jersey already. I wear my jerseys all throughout game day, just so I know that I'm ready for the game.
Alright, and now we'll take you down to the diamond where the Young Bucks took on the veteran Saints. It all started off pretty well for the veteran Saints as all-star center fielder Bailey Meadows led off with an inside-the-park home run on the first pitch. This is the first ever home run on the first pitch in the history of the Evolution Cup. That made it 1-0 Saints. Next up, right fielder Kyle Stewart followed up with a single, but would be left stranded at first. Any questions about Mantar Bhandal's shoulder would be answered as he made all 3 outs at first base in the 3rd inning. With the score now 2-2 after a pick, Chase Johnston grounded out to Graham Gordon, who fired a beauty right to first. Next batter after a bunt, Taylor Dergasov's throw was just wide, but Bhandal was able to apply the tag to end the inning. He led the next inning with a single, the first of 4 hits on the night for Bhandal. Taking you now to the top of the 5th, still tied up with 2s, Bailey Meadows gets a 2-out double, his second hit, and he would finish the night with 4 hits. After a walk by Curtis Leslop with runners on the corners, Travis Noel lays down a bunt. All runners would be safe, although I wouldn't try that again. With the bases loaded, next up was Steph Redmond, who delivers with a bloop single, cashing in Meadows from 3rd and restoring the Saints' lead. Top of the 6th now, more contribution as Kylie Roman leads off with a double. She elected to have a pinch runner, but decided to run to 2nd on her own. She would be left stranded at 2nd base. It was all downhill from there for starter Taylor Dergasov and the Saints, as we'll take you to the bottom of the 7th with the score now 7-3 Bucks. An error by shortstop Curtis Leslop allows a runner to reach first. Next up, Shalina Nand hits a grounder right to Curtis Leslop, who commits his 2nd of 5 errors on the night. and that allows another runner to come in to score. The Saints committed 15 errors on the night. To make matters worse, we'll take you to the top of the ninth, where the score was 9-3 Bucks. Last chance for the Saints as Durgasov grounds one right to third, but an overthrow allows him to advance. Don Powers tries to score all the way from first, but runs herself right into an out, and so does Durgasov. A double play ends the game, and the Bucks take it 9-3. That's all the footage we had. Game 2 was a lot closer. Starter Graham Gordon went 9 innings, but the Saints lost 2-1. Mantar Bhandal had the only RBI in the game for the Saints, and they lost in the finals for the second year in a row. The Young Bucks swept the series by a combined score of 11-4 to capture their very first Evolution Cup. Post-game, the Saints talked about how disappointing it was to lose.
Yeah, it's super disappointing. I think the effort was there, just the execution was off. I mean, 15 errors. We had, we left people on base and just sloppy play all around. But we had some good efforts. I mean, Kurt and Bales had some good at bats, and Steph Rebin played a good game, and all around I think we had some good efforts, but just no execution. I mean, we had people play through pain, like Bailey tore his ankle up. Playing through my shoulder and everything, and it's tough. I mean, when you just waste good efforts like that, that's the tough thing. And the fact we got swept wasn't even close. Like it just really hurts right now. It's gonna take me a while to let it sink in.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I think we just we went into it a little bit overconfident, but we kind of just looked at them, but. You kind of got to think of it like just because they're first years doesn't mean they can't hit the same kind of way. That just because you don't have your grade 10 doesn't mean that you don't have smarticles, doesn't mean that you don't have good brain compartments and departments and all that. But I think it's the way she goes. Sometimes she does go and sometimes she doesn't go, and this was just one of those times that it just happened to not go. So next time hopefully it'll go for us, and that'll be that.
We had about 75% of the game. All right, we were playing good. The other 25% of the game, we weren't playing at all. All right? We made 15 errors in the game. We're not going to win games when we're only playing, 25% of the game when we were actually playing good. I mean, there was a couple innings we went out there. We didn't even get a hit. It was just 3 and outs, inning after inning. And when something like that happens, you're not going to win games, and that's literally what we had nothing.
Due to their absolutely atrocious performance on the diamond, the veteran Saints were all sacked from their jobs at Evolution 1079. They will now look to the Young Bucks to run the station. Maybe they can be better at Evolution than the Saints were at baseball. Our next story, 30 cat facts you probably already knew.